If you're looking for coins to finish off FC24, I have the place for you. Head over to U7Buy for all your coin needs. They're cheap, fast, and reliable. But make sure to use the code GTT at the end of checkout for 6% off every order. So finally, EA have finally given us a repeatable icon pick. Thank God. It is a 1 of 3. Now, I mean, it's not the best, so we'll still run through it. It's a 1 of 3, 91 plus, Team of the Year, Ultimate Birthday, Galazzo, Greats of the Game, and Footies icon player pick. Now, I suppose they've got to do it all because there might be some icons that are not going to get upgraded, so this is the way to include everybody. I would have hoped for maybe a 1 of 4 pick potential, and to be honest, I reckon 92, 93 could have been slightly better, but it is only 2 SBCs, it's repeatable for the next 6 days, I can imagine it will come back, and it is only going to cost you an 87 rated team and an 87 team with a team of the season or team of the week, so relatively fine there. We know the team of the season requirement now is pretty much a myth. Like we've got so many team of the seasons now from the 85 times 10. So what's the repeatable progress for this? How do we go with it, or process, not progress? So the first and foremost is getting your 85 times 10 and your 84 times 10 done. Now, obviously with this, at the minute, as soon as we go into 6 PM, for some reason, the game is absolutely riddled with bugs. So hopefully we can get through this and we'll kind of just have to keep cutting. But in terms of grinding them out, it is a standard, putting everything in, going through the duplicates, putting the team of the season in, and you just repeat. It is literally that easy when it comes to it. There isn't necessarily any other way I could kind of put it, because that is all you've got to do with this SBC, is just keep going around. If you don't have the squad to start with to do the 85 times 10, then obviously a couple of exchange packs, couple of player picks should sort you out properly. Now, what I would do is definitely the 89 exchange. I'd then take them into, at the minute, the 82 player picks. That is still repeatable for the next day. So hopefully we get... it's going to be 81 picks again, I can see it, but hopefully they're at least 1 of 4, because the 1 of 3s are really not paying out. Maybe they give us a few more 83 picks, that would be really nice. I'd take a 1 of 3 83 pick, that would be very nice as the new repeatable pick, but I guarantee that's got to be a couple of weeks away. So most of the time you should get a team of the season back from this. We're going to go and get, I don't even know his name. Oh yeah, of course it's is it Charles, I want to say. So we've got a 95, which is a great high rated to start with. And then we also get Simons. Beautiful. So that's a good one in itself. We also get it. Ooh, okay, that's probably one of the better ones, to be honest. Double team of the season. Couple of icons. 94 at the back as well, which is fantastic. So what you can do with this is, obviously, if you have only made 185 times 10, you could just put some of the golds in. You could put some of the lower rated. Maybe even just chuck these 5 in. And you should be able to get an 86 rated team relatively easy. And then once you've got enough fodder, you can kind of go and do some of the icon picks. That's going to be the best thing about it. Now, this is not the original unlimited one we're looking at. This is the 93 plus, Great to the Game, and Footies 1, 2, 3, and 4, as I've heard decent things about them. Again, they're only 1 of 3 at the moment. I can imagine they will go to 1 of 4 as the weeks go forward. So let's see. Okay, I mean, if I'm collecting, at least I've got one new one, but most definitely you could go one or two ways. You could either go for a Balak here and then obviously put him back into the grind and then kind of keep going with a double upgrade. With the fact that I don't want to go through duplicates, we're going to whack him in there, and we've got one more to do, and then you'd pretty much just go for these. So when it comes to what pays out, it is just totally luck. It is literally, there is no method on it. You've just got to keep going, and that is why the unlimited grind is a thing, because you can't guarantee anything. The only thing you can guarantee is that you can just keep doing it until your heart's content. If you don't want to, then obviously you don't have to. That's kind of the big point about it. We are very, very close to FC25, so it's not necessarily that big of a deal if you don't really want to sit here grinding the menus, and especially at 6 p.m. they are just incredibly buggy. And I must admit, I think throughout the whole year I've had very few disconnects, like sometimes here and there, but there's been very few. This past week has been horrendous for them. So obviously with the 85 times 10 we're getting as many Team of the Seasons as we need, and that is kind of like the big bonus with it. We're getting 2 free Team of the Season moments, and obviously everybody is still looking for the footies. We're looking for the 99s as much as possible. That's kind of the whole point of these, as well as then grinding in general. I don't see that I get many footies in these, to be honest, but again, I'm only doing like 3 of the 85 times 10 a day, and then 7 of the 84 times 10. So it's not as if we're sitting here doing hundreds of them, which most definitely would pay out eventually, but there is only a set amount in packs as well, so it's not like they've re-released the footies teams as of yet. So when it comes to grinding these round, so obviously when it comes to building like an 87 with a Team of the Season, it's pretty standard. So what I would normally do here is go with one of the Team of the Seasons. Naturally, if there was a higher SBC, would go for that. We're going to keep a Team of the Season in it, and we'll just use an 85 times 10 as an example of where we kind of need extra, to be honest. So if I go into my golds now, just to see what sort of stock I've got left, we'll go, and what I'll do is I'll start putting the 84s in, see what the SBC is. So I'm on 87 already. We'll try an 83, and then normally if you're really that bothered, then obviously you can code down one more here, so I can go and check, are the 82s available? I can. Again, we can go down to the 85s. We know that they're fine as well, because we've got such a high rated base there with Harry Kane, with a 92. It normally means we can kind of put in a few more. So can we get it down to 84? That is everything for the first team, and realistically we've used just about half of the pack. Now obviously with the second one, I don't need a Team of the Season, so if I don't need it and I've not got many, like maybe I'm trying to keep them just in case we do get a non-Team of the Season 84 times 10, then it's always good to have a backup, but we do have a couple of Team of the Seasons as well. If I was to go and try and do this with just golds, normally because the golds are not really worth anything, you can just go ahead and squad build it and then figure out where you need to go from there. So obviously that's an 86, what we'd try and do, and I think, to be honest, we're pretty much on anything. Oh, in fact, we've got an 80 keeper. So all I do now is just go into the specials, see what I've got left over, and just utilize them. So for instance, with this one, we will go and we'll use the 94, because realistically we're going to get it anyway. We'll go 88 here, and then maybe if you can be bothered, you might be able to kind of swap in one potentially if we put in an 88 here. If then we went to took an 87 instead, there we go. And that's all you have to actually put in. Now, if you put some higher rated cards in, you could go for some gold commons, even to the point where maybe you put some silvers in. Now, the unlimited side of this is the grind back round, because everybody can get 1 or 2 done. How do you get 100 done? So let's see what we get on this. I'll take a Van Nistelrooy. Absolutely. We've not had him yet. 96 rated. Perfect. He takes another tick off that collection book. So now, for instance, say I've got somebody I want, because sometimes you might get a duplicate. You could just put him back round. You can put him into the exchange, and the exchange is going to be the first place that I'd go to. If I've got no fodder, no nothing, I'm starting from absolute scratch, I would go and buy an 89 at a minimum. If you can obviously get some golds together and do some player picks, that will be perfect as well. But would take, for instance, say we take a Team of the Season, just because I know I've given up quite a lot recently. Obviously we can go ahead and put him into the 89 exchange. Doesn't matter if it's a Team of the Season or not, because we are getting quite a few, as I mentioned before. Anything tradable as well, any tradable packs we get, so the small prime electrum, the mixed player pack, everything is just being discarded if it doesn't sell, because they are coins. They can go into promo packs later on as well, and especially with how many players we've got to do, there's going to be a lot of packs being opened that are tradable, so it should push them coins up nicely, especially if you start getting some specials in there as well. That will just make it go so much easier. So obviously opening up the 89, we hopefully will get a special, but sometimes you don't. It's a very hit and miss. we are going to get a special, which is always nice, and half of the time they tend to be 89 as well, which is even better. This one is just going to be a singular. We got Future Star, I think he's 87, I want to say, so we could put him into another exchange. There is a lot of players that we can get that are 89 as well, so he's not necessarily duplicate, so that's absolutely fine. And normally you'd obviously put all of these into the 82 player pick. For purposes of the video, we're not going to grind through them, but you keep doing them 89s. As you can see there with 20 duplicates, the club at the lower end is absolutely stocked, so we don't need to do too many. We would want to go into the 82 player picks. If obviously you're not necessarily stocked, try and do as many as possible. What I would suggest, instead of just going out and buying loads of 89s, start with one, get a few player picks done, and just build them up that way, because you'll find that you'll probably get some good fodder players from doing the player picks, so it's just that immediate start really. So I wouldn't necessarily go out and buy like 5 of them. I'd buy one and then just go ahead and grind whatever you can from these player picks. I think if you do the 89, I want to say you can build like 5 or 6 of these ones. It's 2 rares and then the rest are obviously common, so 6 common, 2 rares. You can then obviously get the 82 player pick, and sometimes you can get a bit lucky. All the time I do these, when it comes to in a video, you're never lucky. But if you obviously did more than one, there is a big chance that you get some fodder. If I did like 5 or something, then you've got a chance of at least one fodder player. I'd say normally 1 in 5 should be pretty good odds. So let's see if we got the second one. Now, once you've obviously done that, you've grinded round, you've got all your player picks done, you've got your 84 times 10 done, the 85 times 10, and you've done as many players as you can, then it is just completely going round and round and round. It is as simple as that. There's very few other things that you can do at the minute until we obviously get into the complete ultimate grind of these, where these are totally unlimited. You would just then keep bringing these round, and then you'd just every now and then spring it on one of these upgrades and just trying to pack one of the big boys. It's as simple as that. There's not really too much to it other than that, but it's nice that we've got the unlimited grind now. So hopefully you enjoy. We'll see what player picks we get tomorrow, and I'll catch you all for the next one.